Hey geeks, it's Minx, and it's time for our Game of Thrones review. We're on episode 5 called The Door, so if you have not seen that yet, you've probably already had it spoiled for you thanks to social media. But as always, if you don't want to be spoiled, stop watching this video until you watch this episode. I'm going to start off with saying that the big twist of the episode, how it ended, pretty much overshadowed all of the other neat stuff that was in the episode. I know myself, I almost had to watch it twice just because it blew me away. I need to invent a little table to sell to people who watch shows like Game of Thrones so that when you feel like flipping a table, you can just take this little table and flip it. Not only did we lose Hodor, we also lost Summer. That's another direwolf. It makes me want to wrap Ghost and Nymeria in bubble wrap because they're precious and they need to be saved. So, in this episode, we find out finally. We get the answer we've been looking for as to why Hodor is Hodor. And holy crap, he died a hero. Pretty much. Even the actor who portrays him said that he's happy with how Hodor went out because he went out as a hero, and I am inclined to agree with that sentiment. Seeing Bran kind of create a negative feedback loop between past Hodor or Willis and current Hodor, creating the lovable giant, as we know and love, is interesting, and I think it opens up certain can of worms that I'm not sure we're ready for. It kind of gives a little bit of credence to the theory that Bran, using his green sight, could have possibly influenced so many other things that happened over the course of time. For example, is he the reason that the Mad King actually went mad? Was he behind the Whispers? Was that actually Bloodraven who was behind the Whispers? We might never know. Of course, it's not the only thing that happened in the episode, but is the one thing I think it really overshadowed everything else, which is kind of sad because we had Sansa being a badass and wanting to plan, like, you know, we're going to go for these families, we're going to get them on our side, and then we're going to go and we're just going to punch Ramsay right in the dick. So we had her being a badass. We had her being a badass playing the Game of Thrones with freaking Peter Baelish, aka Littlefinger, you know, pretty much like, did you know? Did you know? Guess what he did to me? Guess what he did to me? You know, like, just totally just hammering him home. We had more, I am nobody, training with Sansa, learning that her next thing that she's going to have to do is actually going to be assassinating an actress, and watching her go through that. We had the freaking Kingsmoot in this episode, and it's still overshadowed by Hodor dying. Pretty epic. Theon sounding more like Theon, which is pretty much where he needs to be. I will say this, I loved him and Yara just pretty much like peace out and like bouncing with like the entire Iron Fleet. That was pretty cool. And also that kind of shows you that is truly one of the best commanders that they've ever had in the Iron Islands. So we had that happen. God, what else happened? I can't get over the loss of Summer, yet another direwolf, and Hodor. I just can't get over it. The Night's King marking Bran, very Voldemort-ish, and finding out, you know, where he was, and, you know, offing Max von Sydow's character, Bloodraven. That was just the way he disappeared in the past when he's like, you know, you're taking my place, you know, and he just kind of melts away and flutters away. I'm like, wow, that looked like Voldemort from like the last movie, you know. God, just Hodor. Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Like, man, just, it gets me. It gets me right here. Like, right in the heart. Yeah, the twist is on a scale of epicness. This is a twist that I think a lot of people wanted the answer to, but nobody would have, you know, really guessed it. Most people would not have guessed that's how it would come about. Um, it really, honestly, it's just really, that episode was all about that. It completely overshadowed everything else, including like the King's Moot and all the other stuff that happened. I can't this week. I can't this week, geeks. I'm sorry. I am going to give it. I'm gonna give it a B, and the only reason it was one of the slower episodes up until that last part. Um, so I would have probably given it a B minus, C plus, because of the pacing of the episode. But that last bit with Summer and then Hodor and the children of the forest like all dying off, that twist brings it up to B plus status. Um, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. Um, so with that, we're gonna leave it at a B plus. All I have to say is, screw you, Brad. You bad, not listening, angsty child. You. Um, and yeah. So if you enjoyed this review, or at least just watching my head kind of, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down there for me. It helps me out, and it'll let you know when I post my next review, which of course will be next week. With that, also, let me know what you thought of the episode. Did you enjoy it? What did you think of the twist? Did you enjoy the rest of the episode? If you can remember the rest of the episode, because I can't really. Nothing really stood out other than that. What grade would you give it? Let me know in the comments below. I love talking about my favorite show. So, with that, I guess I'll see you next week. Later, geeks.